YouTube Nation, what is up? Eagles Truth here with you. And I know I don't make a lot of videos. The last video I made was halftime at the Eagles-Bills game where I was really pissed at the play calling. And I told you that I'm still with Jalen Hurts, but I got 1 foot off the bandwagon. And then they came back and ooh, la, 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 okay. And I was happy. I did not think that even if somehow, some way the Eagles won, I didn't think I'd be happy. I ended up coming away happy because, you know, we went ultra beast mode in the second half. And I was like, okay. In that video, I said I wanted Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson gone. Because Brian Johnson's the one that's getting all the hate, but I think Nick Sirianni has a lot to do with this offense sputtering. And I just think the Eagles a lot of times are poorly coached. And so, yeah, here we are at halftime of the Eagles and 49ers game. And still want Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson the fuck out of Philly. And I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with the Nick Sirianni part. Some might agree with Brian Johnson. That's kind of almost universal at this point. But I know it's not going to happen. They're 10-1. Why would they? Probably be 10-2 at this rate. Or who knows? Maybe they miraculously win again and go to 11-1. The difference is the last 2 weeks they were down 10. I know they're down 8 right now. The difference is they're not getting the ball first and second half. Although I think both those games, they didn't do anything with that first possession anyway. So who the fuck knows? We will find out, won't we? But it's just, this one, again, is on Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson. And honestly, on Jalen Hurts. Dude, you took 2 sacks that were all on you. The first one where you tripped, dude. The second one, Jalen Hurts has 2 flaws. I mean, I know the first time he couldn't read a defense and he's tried to progress. He's gotten better at throwing, a little bit more accurate, blah, blah, blah. He's improved here and there and everything. What he needs to work on this offseason is, and it almost sounds like I'm being like an oxymoron right now that I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. Hear me out. He needs to work on getting rid of the damn ball and not leaving the pocket and giving up on a pocket too soon. It almost seems like it's like, well, you know, it's like, what do you want him to do? Do you want him to get rid of the ball or do you want him to hang in there? Both. Hear me out. There's times where it can't be just 1, 2, 3 steps, ball out. There's times defense takes it away, and there's something to be said for a quarterback being tough and hanging in the pocket and delivering a ball, and then that's where some of the big plays go, because it's longer that the defense has to cover and everything. Like, heck, if they're giving you a clean pocket, utilize it. You know, I understand that. But he goes beyond that. Jalen Hurts goes beyond that. Jalen Hurts will sit there and look and look and look and look, and then sees that he's trying to, you know, and then usually doesn't get beyond the line of scrimmage and gets like, there's like a 5-10 yard sack. In this case, the last time it was 9 yard sack. Throw it at someone's feet or something. Or at that point, get out of the pocket and throw it away. But dude, you just take unnecessary sacks. It baffles me. Fucking baffles me. The other part is you got to learn to get rid, or the other part is you will escape too early. There'll be a clean pocket and you'll give ground. You'll go this way to go around. And at that point, I know at 90% of the time, it's a throwaway. 90% of the time, it's a throwaway. 10% of the time, maybe he gets someone on the sideline. All right? 9% of the time, I can say it's a throwaway. The moment Jalen Hurts leaves the pocket to go to the outside, more times than not, it's not a good play for the Eagles. So, I mean, as soon as I see him go around, I know, like, most likely, not all the time, most likely it's a throwaway or nothing's going to happen. I don't know what it is with this team. The play calling. I hit it in my last video. The wide receiver screens. Why are you so fucking dependent on that play? If you didn't do it all the fucking time, I would have totally understand that 3rd and 19 wide receiver screen. I'd have totally understood it. I would have totally understood that, okay, You don't want to drop back and throw deep and risk something. And I think a lot of teams will do a wide receiver screen or a regular screen or hand it off or something along that lines and play it kind of safe in that regard and yada, 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 yada. But the fact that we do it so fucking much, as soon as I saw that on 3rd and 19, I was like, of course you're going to call a wide receiver screen because, why wouldn't you? Now, look, it worked. But here's the thing, I don't work in hindsight. So many people want to work in hindsight. Like, oh, the play worked. Good call. Or, oh, the play didn't work. I hate that call. No. The fact is they do the wide receiver screens and quarterback draws and the running back up the middle, because Lord knows we can't go that way or that way. It's got to be up the middle for 1 yard gains, if we're lucky even. It's becoming nauseating. Those three plays, a wide receiver screen to either side, wide receiver screen, quarterback keeper, or a running back run up the middle out of the shotgun is literally all we do. Once in a blue moon, though, we'll sprinkle something fancy in where the tight end will come across and we'll fake it, and then rehearse will act like he's running and then toss it to the tight end to get a few yards. You know what I'm talking about. There's not many play calls where I'm like, like I'm usually not fooled. And if I'm at home watching on TV, can pretty much have a good chance of calling what's happening. What do you think the NFL defenses can do? So here's the thing. What's the problem? Is Jalen Hurts sitting back there and he's holding on to the ball so freaking long because nobody can get open? Which would be surprising since we have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert when he's healthy, Swift, Julio Jones, which, okay, Julio's might be past his prime, but still, or he is past his prime. But you have options there. It's kind of, you mean to tell me those guys can't get open? Especially as long as you're sitting back there holding the damn ball? Makes me feel like you're just waiting for people to be wide open, Jalen. And this is the NFL. They're not always going to be wide the fuck open. They're not. So is that why we're having some games where we're like, hey, and other games where we're sputtering all the damn time? Is that the reason why? Because sometimes they're wide open. Every now and then you'll get something wide open. It's like, hey. And then sometimes not. And then when that's the case, sputters. I don't know. Or is it the play calling being so damn predictable that NFL defenses know the routes you're running? And I don't know. But here we are again. I'm mad because we wasted a whole first quarter. A whole first quarter of domination, mostly because of our red zone offense. I'm not saying you have to score a touchdown every damn time you get in the red zone. That's unrealistic. But just one, at least one of those times. I mean, the way San Francisco played, it should have been like 2-score game. We should be up right now. Let's put it that way. We should be ahead. Not even just tied. We should be ahead. Here we are. We're not down 10 this time, but we're down 8. Difference is we're not getting the ball first. I don't know. And what really hurts, no pun intended, what really, really hurts is how mouthy the 49ers fans have been. I mean, look, some people like the trash talking. Some people think it's good for the game. To me, there's a way to be a professional. And, the shit Deebo Samuel was saying, the shit everybody was saying after we beat them and everything, it was like Brock Purdy tripped on the way to the stadium. Like he tripped on the way to the stadium. We knocked him out, and then we knocked your backup out. So it wasn't just a fluke. And just the trash talk and the disrespect. And then in pregame, how they were sitting there. I don't know if you guys saw it. I'm sure it's been all over. But just how the 49ers came out along our sideline and just in between coaches and players and just real disrespect. The fact that they're probably maybe going to win. Look, I know it's the real world. Good guys don't always win. But I hate to see that. But you know what? The 49ers are the media darlings. They were even last year. Don't you recall? They were last year's media darlings as well. Same as this year. I bet the world would go crazy. They're clamoring for a 49ers Dallas NFC Championship game. They would love it. Oh, they would love it so much, wouldn't they? It's whatever. I'm going to go back in, watch the second part of the game. Hell, it probably already started. I'm almost dreading what I'll find, but, you know, I'm trying to stay positive, trying so hard. Me and my son were watching the first half, and I was like, when we had to settle for 2 field goals, I was like, you know, we've been dominating this game, and if they have just one play for a touchdown, they're in the lead, even though we dominated the entire freaking first quarter. We'll see. All right, guys. Peace out.